Hello beautiful, my name is Tarina and today's class will be focusing on twists. Making your way to the center of the mat, finding a comfortable kneeling position, so sitting on your shins. Hands can rest on the thighs, close the eyes down if that's comfortable for you today. Starting by deepening the breath, allowing yourself to breathe nice and deep into the belly. Allow it to expand on your inhale. And trying to completely get rid of that air on your exhale. Relaxing the shoulders down and growing a little taller through the crown of the head. Calming the mind down, bringing your focus and your attention to your mat and yourself, drowning everything else out that does not serve you in your practice today. Maybe start to gently lift up through the pelvic floor area. Gently start to engage the belly button, pulling it back towards the spine. So we're not just sitting here in our rock pose. Taking 2 more here, just to start to regulate the breath before we move on with the rest of the practice. When you're ready, you can gently flicker open the eyes if they were closed, return back into the room, started with some seated cat-cows. So placing the hands on the thighs if they weren't already there. On your inhale, pull that chest forward, your gaze comes up, arch the spine. Exhale, push yourself backwards by pulling the belly button back towards the spine so you can dome the back. And again, inhale, pull that chest forward, look up to the sky. Exhale and tuck everything under, dropping the chin down towards the chest. And again, inhale, pull that chest forward. Exhale and go the opposite way. Taking this nice and slow, there is no need to rush. Last one. And exhaling. Nice, and then bring the chest back to center. We're going to take some circles with the torso now, so you can start whatever way is comfortable for you, but just taking those rib cages in a nice big circle, warming up the spine. So twists take a lot out of our torso and our spine, so we just want to make sure that we're prepared, that are working through any kinks in this more gentle movement here. So really think about opening up that chest as you come forward, pushing those rib cages to the side, and then curving everything back as you come back. Take one more in the direction you're going right now. And then return the torso back to center once you have. Really nice. And then moving on with the practice, bringing that right foot, releasing it from underneath you and placing it on the floor in front of you, tracking the knee over the toe. So you're still sitting on your left shin. If that is really uncomfortable though, feel free to pop yourself off the shin, popping your sit bones on the floor, the left foot just gently rest in front. Again, make sure that knee is tracking over the toes and there's about a hand space in between the knee and the foot. Take an inhale, reach that left hand up. As you exhale, twist the body over towards the right side using the core, and then place that left arm onto the outside edge of that right thigh, pressing the thigh and the hand together so you can twist a little bit deeper. On every inhale, think about growing through the crown of the head. On every exhale, you twist the torso a tiny bit more. Being sure not to drop that right knee inward, so we're still trying to keep it in one nice non-line in line with the ankle. Take one last breath here. And then slowly start to unravel the spine, taking a counter twist to the opposite side. Once you have, releasing yourself from that left leg by falling over to the right and then bringing the leg so they're at a 90-90 angle at the knee. Again, if this is uncomfortable on the knees for whatever reason, feel free to shorten that angle so you're bringing the foot closer towards the body. Find the position for you, root those sit bones down into the ground, making sure the weight is nice and even if you can. That may mean moving some flesh out the way, absolutely fine. On your next inhale, reach both hands up overhead, relax the shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale, twisting yourself over towards the left this time, placing the right hand on the left thigh. Left hand comes behind the back, twisting the body open. Again, try to relax those shoulders if you can. And thinking about rooting both sit bones into the ground. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, go the opposite way. This time, left hand rests on the right thigh. Root those sit bones down. Open the chest. Hold for one more breath. And then we're going to go twice more in single breath counts this time. So on your inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, twist over towards the left. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, twisting over towards the right. And again, inhale, reach up. Again, relax the shoulders. Exhale, twist into the left. Inhale, bring those hands up. Twist over towards the right. And return the body back to center. Rolling over the shins so you can find a tabletop position. Making sure, as always, the wrist is tracking underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take an inhale, reach that right hand back and up, open the chest. Before exhaling, threading it through the arm, we're finding our twisted puppy pose. See if you can place the shoulder on the floor. Feel free to place a block there, bring the floor a little bit closer to you. And if you haven't already, reach those left fingertips out in front of you. Getting a nice spinal twist here. This can be quite intense, so feel free to come out of it slightly for a few seconds if you need to, before returning back in your twisted puppy. Making sure those hips are still tracking on top of the knees and they've not drifted forward or backwards slightly. Then bring that left hand back in towards the body, gently releasing yourself up, coming out and then resting back onto the shins. And then we're going to try and do that all on the left side. So bring that left foot, place it in front of you. Again, if you need to pop your sit bones down on the floor, please do so now. Otherwise, making sure there's a nice distance between the right knee and the left foot. Keeping that knee tracking over. On your inhale, reach the right hand up. As you exhale, twist over towards the left side using your core first, then place that arm onto the outside edge of that thigh, twisting a little bit deeper. Keep pressing the arm and the leg together to help get that resistance that will help you twist a little bit more. Using the breath, marrying breath to movement. Inhale, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Then unraveling the spine, let's take that counter twist to the opposite side. And then eventually rolling over to the left, so we're making that 90-90 angle on the left side. Again, move any flesh out the way that you need to. Take an inhale, reach those hands up overhead. Exhale, twist over towards the right. Left hand comes onto the right thigh. Push yourself a little bit further to twist in the torso. Hold in here for one last breath. Really nice. Inhale, reach those hands back up. Exhale, go the opposite way. Hold in here for a few breaths. Keep reaching right sit bone down towards the floor. Try not to lift up that hip as much as you can, so the twist wants to come from the torso. And then single count twists. Inhale, reach those hands up, twist into the right. Inhale, lift them up to the left. One more each side. Inhale, reach as high as you can, relax the shoulders, right side. And last one, inhale. Exhale, release to the left. Returning back to center, bringing those shins in or crossing the legs so you can roll over the shins, finding a tabletop position. Let's take that twisted puppy on the opposite side. Inhale and reach the left hand up and back behind you. Exhale, thread that hand through the right arm, extending the right arm out in front of you, trying to get the left shoulder or cheek onto the floor. Again, use a block or any other props you have by you if you need to bring the floor a little bit closer. And remembering your hand and your arm does not have to touch the floor. You can come to wherever works for you and your body today. Just trying to keep thinking about sinking the torso down towards the floor as you twist and use that core to twist in the torso. Bringing the right hand back towards the body, pressing yourself back up to a tabletop position, and then bring the left hand out slightly in front of you so you can release that right foot to the top of the mat. So we're in a nice low lunge position here. Once you're ready, reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. We're in our twist. If you want to go a little bit further and be a bit more active, you can tuck that back toe under, lift the back knee off the floor. If you are taking this variation, making sure to take the kink out of that back knee by pushing through the left heel. If you keep thinking about twisting that chest open towards that right thigh, reach through the fingertips, try not to stop the movement at the wrists. Reach through the crown of the head, last breath, we're almost there. Then release that hand down to the floor, framing that front foot so you can step that foot to the back of the mat for a downward facing dog. Exaggerate the bend in the knees here so you can find extra length in the spine. And then getting ready to take another twist here in downward facing dog. So really root your weight down into that left hand, taking inhale, reach the right hand up. As you exhale, pull that arm through the body, through the space between the left hand and the left foot, using the core to pull that hand as far as you can. This is quite intense on the left side, so really try to think about lifting out of that left wrist. Nice, and bringing that hand back, release it down to a normal downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Before bending the knees, dropping back down to sitting on your shins. Wiggle at the wrists if you need to. And let's get ready to take that lunge and twist on the opposite side. So bring that left foot to the top of the mat. Right hand is right by that left foot. And then extending the left hand up towards the ceiling, tucking that back toe underneath you so you can lift up that back knee. Again, if that back knee is lifted, take the kink out of that knee for me. Really try and find a straight line through that foot all the way up to the hip bone. Keep thinking about opening up the chest. Reach through the fingertips. Grow through the crown of the head. Sink the hips down. Lots to think about here. For one last breath. Closing that left side of the body down, frame that front foot, step back to your downward facing dog. Again, exaggerate the bend in the knees for a moment so you can find a bit more length through the spine. Then take an inhale, reach the left hand up and then try to thread it through the body on your exhale. Reach as far as you can. You might not go that far, that's absolutely fine. Releasing that hand back to a normal downward facing dog. Release those knees back down to the floor, find your shins, and then wiggle the wrists out. Nice, releasing off of the shins, and taking a couple of cat-cows here, just to release anything you might have built up in the spine. Just a couple, work through anything. Before releasing that right foot again to the top of the mat, this time bring the hands together at heart center. You're in your low lunge. Take an inhale, grow through the spine. As you exhale again, use that core to twist over towards the right thigh. Hook the left arm onto the outside edge of the right thigh. Press the hands together at heart center. Again, if you want to take something a little bit more active here, lifting up that back knee by tucking the back toes under. Keep pressing those hands together at heart center. If you have any variations in your practice, feel free to take them. So you may want to open up the hands, or you could take a bind if it's in your practice. Maybe looking over that right shoulder. Last breath. And then starting to unravel the spine so you can frame the front foot, but slowly start to straighten up that leg so you can walk the hands round so you're in a nice wide-legged forward stance. Placing the right hand in the center of the mat, reaching that left hand up towards the ceiling. Again, taking another twist here. Trying to keep the hips as square as you can. Pressing into the outside edges of the feet. Gaze comes up to the top hand. Placing the left hand down and then walking those hands to meet the foot that was at the back of the mat, taking our twisted lunge on this side. So dropping that right knee down to the floor, bending into that left leg. Take an inhale, grow through the torso before exhaling, twist over towards that left leg, hook the right arm onto the thigh. Press those hands together at heart center. If you've done so on the other side, tucking the back toe under, lift that back knee off the floor, take the kink out of the knee. If your hands are remaining at heart center, really try to think about pressing them together to get them into the center of your chest. Opening up this side of the body. Still keeping a generous bend into that front leg if you can. For one last breath. Then unravel the spine so you can pop those hands down to the floor, walking the hands back round so you're in your wide-legged stance again. This time bringing the left hand into the center of the mat, reaching up with the right hand towards the ceiling. Trying to get the hands in one nice long line. So the aim is to eventually start to think about stacking the shoulders on top of each other. Breathing for one last breath. Releasing the right hand down towards the floor. Take a little bit of a forward fold here. Before walking those hands around so you can frame that front foot, step back to a downward facing dog. Exaggerate the bend in the knees. Maybe wiggle out the legs if you need to find a nice long spine. Before gently popping those knees down towards the floor and tucking the toes, finding a rock pose. Hands can rest in the thighs. Close the eyes down. You have the option to take some exhales out through the mouth here. If you need to find a bit more stillness in the breath, get rid of some of that heat that you've built up. Otherwise, just returning back to your natural inhales and exhales through the nose. Get rid of any conscious breathing now. And take a moment to scan through the body, relaxing your muscles. Using this pose to finish your practice. So feel free to stay here as long as you need.